We are going to be talking to you today about how to grow on TikTok and attain profitable results with your Prove It business. So Cameron and I both have been on TikTok for quite a few months now, and we've learned a thing or two over time with trial and error, as well as several hours working on trainings and learning from other people that are on TikTok who are successful with attaining these profitable results. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen and show you guys what we've learned. So like I mentioned before, this is how to grow on TikTok and attain profitable results with your Prove It business. So the first question I want to ask you guys is, are you ready? And what is it that you need to be ready for? Well, you need to be ready for the wave, the flow, the floodgates. Like, are you ready to carry the weight of the TikTok floodgates that you're opening right now? Because with these strategies, this has opened some incredible floodgates for Cameron and I. So I'll let Cameron actually share a little bit about herself and her experience with TikTok.
Absolutely, Samantha. Thank you. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you and present this information. I have to say, like Samantha said, this was a platform that is fairly new for most of us. And we kind of ventured into this not really knowing what to expect. And having shared ketones on various platforms over the last 4 to 5 years, TikTok has truly been something completely different and unique in a sense that it really truly does open the floodgates. It is a newer platform. It's a platform that a tremendous amount of people are using. It's a platform that it's very easy and I don't know if easy is the right word, but I want to say easy and quick to grow on when you compare it to other platforms. It is through consistency and the things that you're going to learn today. It's incredible how fast you can grow and how many people you can get in front of in the process, even down to your very first video that you do, even before you really start to build this up. There's so many people that can see that. And over the last 3 to 5 months, we have welcomed over 1,000 members into our community between customers and promoters, all from TikTok. We have met some of the most incredible people. We have built some incredible relationships. We've all learned and grown so much. And we're just excited to show you a little bit more about the foundation and a look at what happens behind the scenes as we align strategy with consistency and relationship building and sharing a conversation that we're so passionate about while also letting people get to know us better.
So consistency is one of the most important things. Personally, I've experienced a difference between consistency and maybe skipping a couple of days and seeing that momentum slow down. So stay consistent with the strategies that we're about to teach you, and you will 100% see the profitable results that you are looking for. If you create a steady flow of new people coming in, would that change your business? Would that change the results that you're receiving today? So with this training, you'll receive that steady flow as long as you're plugging in these strategies, and it'll fall into that niche focused flow, right? People will come to you, like Cameron mentioned, that are just like you. You will be attracting people that are just like you. And authenticity is about presence, living in the moment with conviction, confidence, and staying true to yourself. And the definition of authentic, it's defined as not false or copied, genuine, real, representing one's true nature or belief, and true to oneself or the person identified. And that is super powerful and exactly what this is about.
Yeah, I love that, Samantha. And something that I would want to ask you all and just have you think about for a moment is if you could commit to the consistency of producing the content for this platform. And, it's something that as you do it, you get quicker at it. You learn how to capture things that you will then be able to turn around and use in your videos, literally while you're living life, while you're cooking dinner, while you're being you, while you're doing all of the things that you would do anyway. And if you could commit to that and learning this and saying, okay, I'm going to trust y'all. I'm going to take the reins. I'm going to do this. Imagine having a constant flow of people, of messages coming in, of people saying, hey, I saw your video. Can you give me more information about this? That is the goal. That is the outcome. And through that process, you will find that it makes this whole thing just even that much more awesome. So like Samantha mentioned, you know, being authentic, not only being consistent, but being authentic and giving people a glimpse into your gift zones, into the value that you have that you can give to the world, because that is so valuable. And through this process, you're also going to learn more about yourself. And really what you have to give. And you are going to have an absolute blast. Along with growing your business, you're going to really have a lot of fun learning more about yourself and giving the gifts that you have back to the world.
Something with consistency too, like it mentions here, is post every day, post 1 to 3 times a day. It's proven that it'll bring in a consistent flow of followers. So as long as you're following these systems, you will be good. And it's so important to just continue to share value. Posting less is okay, as long as those posts are like very meaningful. It'll build momentum. So one thing that's really important too is getting granular with who you are and getting to know yourself and about yourself. And if you feel like you're not exactly sure who you are, or what you're, maybe what you love to do, what your desires are, what you get disappointed by, what you believe in, things that you would give away and things that you would like to gain. These are some really good questions to ask yourself to really get to know yourself, right? Because if you're wanting to be authentic and you're wanting to attract people that are just like you have to really get to know you first. So these questions right here, you know, pause this video, take a screenshot, and really truly think about these things, because this is going to help you get granular and attract the people that truly do relate to you. And this business is all about building relationships. It's building relationships. The outcome of what you're doing on TikTok right now is about building relationships. So it should always have to do with creating relationships with people in whatever form, right? It's authentic, it's real, it's genuine. And as you grow on TikTok, which will happen faster than you realize, by the way, it is very important to build these relationships along the way. So go deeper with your relationships, not wider. Right? Transactional business can only get you so far, but what you build as a solid long-term business, it'll come from depth of leadership, and but also more so depth of relationships. So you'll build both of those things as long as you stick to the strategies within this video to a T, because quality relationships go much longer than more relationships that are just not as high quality. And don't ever forget that.
So one of the things that I love the most about TikTok is it's a platform that you can share and showcase who you are, and you can tell stories in short segments of time. So some other platforms, it would require a lot more time for you to get on and talk and share stories, but because the video clips on TikTok are 15 to 60 seconds, you're able to put more quality content into that block of time. So be a professional storyteller, create relatability, connect with people who can relate with what story you're telling, and create a genuine and real connection. One of the coolest things about TikTok is it will put the people in front of you that need to be there, that are attracted to what you're putting out. And you'll realize that your audience is like-minded people and people who find a ton of value in your content. Build trust. Create the feeling of I've been there too, or I'm right there now with you when you're telling a story. That all comes along with being authentic. And then lastly, inspire people. Create a perception of you and what type of difference you can make. Inspiration and motivation will drive people to take action. This is one of my favorite topics, finding your niche. This is literally the difference between just creating videos and actually putting out content that people will A, find value in, and B, want to follow you for. So when it comes to finding your niche, sometimes that can take a little bit of digging internally to understand what the best thing is for you. What is your niche? You know, we go through life so fast that we don't often stop and think, what's the information I've obtained over the years that I can turn around and share with people to give value? What are the little crafty things that I've figured out along the way, or the life hacks or things like that? So things to identify in order to find your niche are, number one, identify your talents, hobbies, and skills that you're good at. Number two is, out of the above talents, What do you enjoy doing the most? That is key. Your niches should be things that you enjoy. So when you identify what these talents and hobbies and skills are, what are the ones that you most enjoy? Out of those talents and skills, what do people need? What will people find value in that will make them want to follow you for more of that, and also to share that out into the world? Pinpoint any knowledge you have attained throughout life that you can share. What hobbies do you have? What are things that you enjoy? What are things that you're good at? What are certain traits that you have that you can use in this? Good examples of this are humor, acting, dancing, cooking, skits. The list goes on and on. Have you ever heard the saying, there's someone for everyone? You may think that what you have, or the hobby that you have, or the skill that you have, is something that people wouldn't find interesting. That's not true. There are a ton of people out there that are dying to know more about what it is that you have an interest in, a skill set in, or that you have as a hobby. So ask yourself before you post, what's the goal of this post? We want to be outcome oriented with the content that we put out there.
Yes, I love that. Yes, I love that. Finding your niche, and it goes right hand in hand with being granular and figuring out who you are, and that'll help you also find your niche. So let's get down to the nitty gritty and let's start talking about post ideas, how to post, what to post, etc. So follow the 4 E's of content creation, okay? Education, entertainment, engagement, and emotion. And something that I have learned just from listening to Gary Vee all the time is give away as much free value as physically possible. You know, teach people as much as you can. Every single human on this planet has something that they can teach somebody. And I think sometimes we forget that. And TikTok is a great place to put our knowledge out into the world. So if you're sticking to education, entertainment, engagement, and emotion all the time, over and over and over and over and over again, this right here is going to get you amazing results. That's straight consistency right there, true definition. So do some recipes. Tell a story of something exciting. Tell a story of something that you've persevered through. Tell a story about anything at all, okay? Just tell a story. Share your routine for something. 3 tips for just about anything, right? How to do something, how not to do something, things to avoid, you know, anything along those lines. That is going to be considered something called shareable content, okay? If you think about creating something that you know someone is going to want to share because it's that valuable that they want their friend to know it, that right there will build your TikTok so much. So some other tips too, you can save sounds to your favorites to use for later. So if like you're scrolling through and you see someone's post and you love their sound, save that sound for later. Same thing with the videos. You can click the little flag and save the video that you like. It'll be in one of the options on the right-hand side on the bottom, where you have the options. It'll say favorites. Save it to your favorites so you can actually replicate that later. So get inspired by the content and other people's content that's already performing at a high level. That is the biggest tip I could give you for this topic is don't try to reinvent the wheel so much. Just replicate what you know is already working the algorithm, what people already like, and just customize it and change it to be you. So strategy with posting, that's what the majority of this is going to be about. And here is a great little guideline that you can follow to make sure that you are getting the right type of content in front of your people. So 75% of your posts should be made for shares and saves, like I mentioned, right? So recipes, how-tos, teach me some things, how-tos, mistakes made, avoid, things to avoid, humor, all of those things would be shareable content and things that people want to save. So you want to make that about 75% of your content. That is going to attract the most people to your page, to your virtual business card, like I like to call it, which is on TikTok actually 12 squares. So you want your 12 squares, 75% of those 12 squares to be shareable posts. Then 15% of that will be posts made for profile visits, like people always go to your profile for, or reasons for people to go to your profile, before and afters, your product story, journey with building the online business, calls to action, keto, low carb foods, like tips, tricks, health and fitness, motivation and inspiration. People might share this type of stuff less, but it still makes them go to your profile visit because it inspires them. So see how that's a little bit different? The value people just want to share, but like the inspiration and your journey and your stories, that's what's going to make people just go look at your stuff all the time. They want to follow you and they want to get to know who you really are. Crazy, huh? We're way cooler than the Kardashians, okay? People want to know who we are. Just saying. So 10% of your posts will build authenticity and relationships with your current audience. So even get as deep as like posting a little bit about your family, about your life, something that happened to you in your life, like your lifestyle. Give them that little teeny 10% glimpse of like what your day-to-day is, so they know that you're still a normal person, not just like this 75% genius who just always has value all the time. So that's a great guideline to follow.
I love that, Samantha. And I just want to add really quick, like, this is the new television, you guys. The time right now is fast clips, and that's what people want. And so again, like, it's literally like people's reality TV show. Like, you can literally show them who you are, where you come from, what made you who you are today, and what are the pieces of value that you've picked up along the way that you can put out. So let's talk a little bit about the algorithm. You may or may not be familiar with algorithm, but an algorithm is what works along with you to support the content that you put out. So every social media platform has an algorithm, and the algorithm on TikTok seems to be changing a little bit, and there are some different opinions of algorithm out there. But just as some general guidelines of what we have found as we go through algorithm is, each time that you post, it goes on the FYP, which is for your page. So you have basically a column that's for your page and a column of people that you're following. And so when your video ends up on the FYP, that's a really great thing. That is a goal. And how long it stays there depends on a point system that accumulates based on how your video performs. If your video performs well, it goes into a medium group where more people see it. If it goes well, then it goes into a larger phase for a couple of days, depending on how the video goes over those days. The more points you have, the longer it stays on the FYP, and the more that people will see it. And Samantha, I know you're like a master on the TikTok algorithm. So anything you want to add to that?
That's exactly how it works. It's literally like you are jumping from pond to pond to pond, and each pond just has like a hoop, loop, and circle that you need to jump through in order to get to the next one. So as long as your video is keeping people watching and following these factors that Karen's about to explain, then it'll stay in those ponds longer, get more likes. And you'll notice that sometimes you post and it like doesn't get anything yet, and then out of nowhere it's like, and then it like kind of stops for a second. Well, that's because they're waiting to see how much attraction it gets before they put it into the next pond and say, okay, it got it. And then boom, a couple days later, you might get it again. So just don't get discouraged if it doesn't immediately get views. Don't delete your posts or anything like that. Just let it ride the wave, because the algorithm is like pond jumping all the time.
So these are some of the factors of the algorithm. So these 6 things that you see here in this order are factors that help support your content and help it rank higher, if you will, in the algorithm. So number 1, rewatches. When people watch your video and they're like, oh my gosh, that was so good, I got to watch that again because I want to hear what she said or what he said. So them rewatching your video several times is a really, really positive thing. So for example, if you're showing how to do something, sometimes I'll watch like craft or DIY or makeup or hair. They're going to rewatch it to be able to see what it is that you talked about in that video. The second one is the length of the watch time. So having them watch your whole video until the end is super, super awesome. So for example, if you give the outcome in the beginning of your video, like, now I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to remain low carb. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, they're more likely to stay on throughout the length of your video because they're wanting to watch for the end. Number 3, shares. They can actually share your video if they find that valuable. Number 4, them commenting on your video. Number 5, them liking your video. And then number 6, trending soundtracks. So you can actually use music that's trending, and that can also help with the algorithm. Now, more important things to keep in mind are, again, consistency and strategy. We cannot say that enough. That's so important. Total average watch time matters. So whether you have a number of 15-second videos or a few 60-second videos, the total average time adds up. So you want to think about the bigger picture. Simple over noise, for example, don't have music blaring in the background while you're doing a voiceover. You want to keep it clean and where they can understand what you're saying. Be intentional over non-specific. Surprise people at the end of the video. It helps them stay on until the end. Build suspense and pack tons of free value into your feed.
Yes, simple is everything. You want to be clear with your message, and you want your virtual business card to also be clear too. So when someone lands on your page, you want them to know, like, okay, this is this person's niches. Like, they might not say the word niches to themselves, but for me, if you land on my page, there is no doubt about the fact that I am a business owner. I love low carbon keto stuff, and I'm a mom, right? So there's just no way of getting around that, because it's basically what I talk about: my business journey, my product journey, how much I love ketones, and how I'm a mom. So trends versus evergreen. This is a topic, oh gosh, when I learned about this, I was like, oh, now this makes even more sense. So this is a way to create an easy 10 to 30 second video that'll work for you over the next few weeks and even the next few months. Like, I still get messages from posts that I made a few months ago, and that's because it is falling into the category of it being an evergreen video. So let's compare the two. What an evergreen video is, this is content that's related to your niche and audience, okay? This is one of the 75 percenters. This is the thing that brings the value. This focuses on the quick tips, the hacks, the how-tos, the befores and afters are even an evergreen post, because people want to share that too. And before and afters never go out of style, right? Frequently asked questions, those never go out of style. Basically what your customers are always searching for. So think of the things, even make a list if that helps you, of like, okay, what type of, if you were to say problem and solution, what is your ideal customer's problem, or your ideal promoter's problem, or what are they lacking, or what are they challenged by, or what are their setbacks, and how can we fit into their solution? Create those evergreen videos that bring value enough for people to want to share it, because compared to the trends, which does go out of style, evergreen videos never ever go out of style. They can be shared at any time, all the time, and they will always be valuable forever and ever and ever. So trends, for example, are usually featured on the For You page, just because when things are trending, TikTok's algorithm posts it. If there's a new hashtag that's out trending and someone uses it, they're pretty much more likely to go on the For You page. So you can definitely use the trending stuff and the trending movements or dances or themes or hashtags or songs and all of that to create something around ketones still, to where you can utilize those trends to create evergreen posts and catapult the views that way. So you might get views with the trends, but you're not actually attracting your ideal audience unless you're making your trendy videos niche specific, customizing it to your niche, using that trend as the catapult. It's still handy for you to find popular trending songs, like I said, or the audio and reuse them. It just is, but they need to be adapted to your niche and audience every time in order to be beneficial and attract organic people. Not just, if it was just a dance, you would attract people that like your dance, but you want to be specific and attract people that are into your niches too.
All right, so let's talk about captions. So captions are basically the title to your video. You want your caption to be specific to what your video actually is, because that's going to lead someone to actually click on your video and watch your video. So number one is always have a caption. You want to title your video. You also want to give it a good title, but have your title short and efficient and effective so that they know what your video is about. So your title will likely be a few words that talk about what your video is, and then you'll have hashtags for a remaining part of your caption. So rule number 2 is don't just fill up your caption with all hashtags, meaning don't just have hashtags and not a caption. And the number 3 is don't fill your caption with all captions. So you want a good variety of hashtag and caption. It will stop you when you've reached your limit on how many characters or words that you can use when you're doing your caption. So don't worry about that. Just go until it tells you that you're done, but keep it short and to the point. So a caption can do a few things. It captures people's attention to watch your video longer. For example, a great caption is, I can't believe I'm doing this. Most people don't know this. You won't believe this. Those are almost cliffhangers that make people want to click it and see what it is that you're talking about. Number 2 is tell people what they're about to see or learn. Tell people why they should stick around, and it gives you another opportunity to be you. There's 150 characters max for caption and hashtag. So hashtags put your videos in multiple buckets of viewers. We call this buckets to help give you a visual of how hashtags actually work. The hashtags are what are going to be essentially like a tag on your video, so that TikTok can work together to take the tag or the topic or the hashtag that you choose and match that with what people are interested in. This is how, when you get on TikTok, you see things that you actually want to see and you're interested in because people are using hashtags. So hashtags are super important, and you want to keep your viewers, it keeps your viewers niche specific, especially if you're new to an account. You can see what is trending for the hashtags that you're following. You will also notice when you go onto TikTok, on your home screen, you can actually see what the different things are, what the hashtags are that are trending. And Samantha talked a little bit about trending and evergreen. So there are specific hashtags that are trending, but that doesn't mean you just want to stick that hashtag on your video because it's trending. You want to remain true to what your content is about. So what are the hashtags that your ideal follower is searching for? For example, if you identify yourself as someone who is a master low carb snack person, you share all the low carb snacks and you see that that gets a really great response, then you know that that's what your ideal followers are looking for. The same goes with comedy, hair tips, mechanic tips, real estate tips, whatever it is. You can identify what your ideal follower is looking for and see yourself as a resource. This is huge. People are following you because they see value in you. They see you as a resource. They enjoy learning from you. They get value from what you deliver. So maybe you've never looked at yourself before as a resource, but you now are a resource and you're giving value to the world and to your audience. So make sure you see yourself as that. And then, again, just ask yourself, what are the hashtags that your target follower are using and searching for, and design your content around those hashtags.
Yes, I love that. People see you as a resource, and just don't ever forget that. Your presence matters. People want to be supported by you. People want to be recognized by you. People want to learn from you. People see you as a resource and find what you have to say as value. So don't ever forget that, okay? So some hashtag do's and don'ts. So don't only focus on hashtags with billions of views. Like Cameron mentioned, that is like, do you want to be a big fish in a big pond, or do you want to be a big fish in a small pond? Right? So we're all big fish. We're all big fish. But what size pond do we want to go in? And more so, where will we be most noticed? If we are a big fish in a giant pond, the probability of people noticing us is less than the probability of someone noticing a big fish in a small pond. So do focus on hashtags with low millions of views. Like, I like doing the 1 millions, 5 millions, 10 millions, and that's really about it, because I want to kind of be known within that hashtag. And when there's a smaller bucket, it's easier to get recognized. So another thing is, don't use random hashtags. Another thing that Cameron touched on too. If you're making a video about mango smoothies, don't hashtag, like, I don't know, plant lady and biker gangs or something. That's a really funny example. But if you're making a smoothie, a mango smoothie post, hashtag mangoes and smoothie and mango smoothie and fruit lovers and fruit smoothies and mango lovers and mango lover, right? That's one thing I love, is doing plural, and mango lover, mango lovers, smoothie lover, smoothie lovers. only hashtag things that have to do with your video, because the algorithm is literally that smart to be like, this is not about biker gangs or plant ladies. So they literally don't put it on the For You page. So think of hashtag as buckets of people who are looking for the value that you're providing because people see you as a resource. So pro tip, look at the suggested hashtags before you make your posts. Type in your niche. Find some others that are popular as well. And when you find some videos that are popular within your niche, I like to click on those people videos and see what else they hashtag, to see how your people are thinking and see what else they're hashtagging. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is a call to action. Call to action is so important. This is the next step for people. A call to action is a prompt on a website that tells the user to take a specific action. Some examples: text me, link in bio, check out my page, find me on IG or Facebook. Hashtags should be super short in length. I'm very strategic. If I can only have 150 words in my caption, and part of it is my caption, and I have the opportunity to then fill it up with hashtags, I love using the shortest ones I can find. Like, weight loss motivation is such a great hashtag, except for it's super long, and you can literally find like 4 other hashtags that are short instead of that one. So be smart about using like super long ones too. They might be niche specific, but they take up a lot of space. So be short with your hashtags, be very visible, create a sense of urgency, okay? That's what those hashtags should do for people as well. And it's important because the call to action is the key element to someone taking that next step. Okay, so clear directive, like if you give people clear directive, it lets people know what to do next. And without a clear call to action, people don't know the next steps to take to purchase. They don't know. A call to action makes it clear on exactly where to go, exactly what to do, and it's the next step in your funnel. Next thing that we're going to talk about is post aesthetics. So Cameron's going to tell you a little bit about this and the importance of post aesthetics and where to put your words and how to use them.
Yeah, so when you get into the really fun part of this, which is making videos, it can be maybe a little scary at first. I have to admit, I was a little scared. I'm not the most tech savvy, but I will say you will get it as you go and you will have it all down to the T. There are a couple things that you definitely want to know that you may not know until you found out the hard way if we weren't here telling you. So you see the red box here around Holly's face. This is the parameter of where you actually would want to place words, okay? Because there is a certain little border around your screen that will be cut off essentially. So if you put a word way up to the top or way over to the side or outside of this box, if you put it down low, right below this red box, that's where your hashtags and your title are going to be. So your words will be missing. You won't be able to see those words. So it's important that you place your words there. Another thing is you're going to set the duration of how long the words will remain on the screen. For example, when you type the word and you tap it and you do set duration, if your duration is 1 second, it would be really hard for someone to see what the words are that you typed if it popped up and was gone before they could even read it. Chances are they're just going to scroll past the video because they don't know what you were trying to say. So that matters. The duration of the words matters, and your placement matters. Your call to action should also be large enough and easy to read. This white background that you see behind is super important because it makes it where you can see it. Whereas if she hadn't had used the white background, those words may actually just blend into her sweater or, you know, her background, and you may not actually be able to read that. So with the call to action, if for 1 second it just goes, boom, text me, here's my phone number, and then it's gone, again, they're not going to receive that call to action. Your feed is your virtual business card. So like Samantha said, make it aesthetically pleasing and, you know, attractive, that people want to look at it and they're drawn to go check out your other videos. They're drawn to follow you for more content. If they look at your page and they don't get a good feel for who you are and what you do, they may not stay there. They may not decide to follow you. TikTok has a really cool thing where you can add thumbnails to your photo. So when you're at the end, and this is something Samantha taught me and it was a complete game changer, right before you post your video, it actually allows you to select what the cover photo is. So naturally it may have it where your mouth's like wide open because you're mid-sentence, and that would be the video that people would see when they see your check boxes there when they go to your page. But you have the ability to choose what that cover photo is. And now, as you see on the bottom here, you can add text. You can actually put a really cool text box over it that says, you know, low carb snacks, let's just say. And it's just another attraction factor that will cause them to click on your video.
So let's talk about driving to other social platforms, okay? A few places that you can direct people on your videos on your TikTok is clickable links in your bio, a custom URL that you provide in your video, an Instagram, your YouTube channel, your Facebook page, and your Facebook group, because oh my gosh, that's so beneficial too. Calls to action like text me here, and even a form for people to fill out. So do not have a call to action in every video. I see this a lot, and what, in my opinion, it just dilutes the value of your page, because people aren't going to want to hang out on a page that literally is like, text me about everything, right? If we're bringing value, there doesn't need to always be a call to action at the end. We're bringing free value. We don't expect things in return. We don't need to put it out there that like, hey, you've got to text me after I just brought you these 5 tips. We want to just give our knowledge out into the TikTok universe for people to want to come follow our page, help bring value to them. So every 3rd to 4th video should have a quick call to action to lead them to another platform or another way to connect with you. People will almost always share an evergreen video, but in my opinion, when you have a call to action at the end of an evergreen video, people are like, oh, they want something. And it's just the probability of them sharing it is less. I promise you, you can watch your analytics. This is proven.
So batch create your content. This is huge. It's one of my favorite features that TikTok has. The reason why is because you may not be able to film a video every day, realistically. Like, you know what your schedule holds and what it permits, and you have the ability to shoot multiple videos and batch content and save it to your drafts. So for example, if one day you're like, I'm dressed, I'm together, my hair's done, my makeup's done. If you're a dude, you got a cool hat on, like whatever it is, you're like, I'm feeling really fly right now, I'm gonna make a bunch of videos. Okay, maybe you're gonna be on the road, you're gonna be in travel, you have stuff coming up, but you don't want to miss your consistency, because consistency is key. Okay, so here's the deal. So you can film multiple videos in the same day, even if you don't know exactly what you're gonna do with them. Let's say, for example, you're scrolling TikTok, you hear a song, you notice that it has great points, like notes that you could see yourself pointing and words pop up on the screen. You can film yourself with that sound pointing on the screen, not knowing what you're going to use yet, where you're pointing, but knowing that when you decide what the content is for that video, you can simply go in and fill out the words that you're going to use for that. Saves a ton of time, helps with future posting and consistency. Time lapse with your voice, sharing a routine. You probably have videos in your phone that you can use and batch together that you can later add words to and voiceovers to. Save these partially completed videos into your drafts until you're ready to spend some time editing. So even if you're working on some videos, you have some time to do that, but you don't quite finish it yet, you don't put the words on it yet, you don't complete it, save it to your draft and you can go back and finish editing it later. This is a game changer. You guys definitely want to use that feature.
Yes, absolutely. I am 100% all about batch creating. It's funny because I will change my shirt a couple times and make a couple videos going like this and like this and like this, and then one night I might just all come to me. So like, I never know what I'm doing or what I'm going to talk about, but it just comes to you sometimes when you're in your drafts or when you're like, oh, what do I make? You'll always have something to work on. So some important guidelines. Let's always respond, okay, guys, to every comment. I promise you this is so, so important. It'll boost your post. And remember, TikTok has this very interesting organization system, in my opinion, to where it's a little tricky to keep up with comments and messages because it all comes into the same folder with notifications. So make it important to every now and then go back and check all your posts. I promise you, you will find random comments that you didn't realize that you even missed back to back to back to back. So always check in on your posts and comment back on literally everything. It doesn't have to be all at one time. Like the last thing you want to do is like do 100 comments in a row, but just make it one of your DMOs, your daily methods of opportunities or operations. Just always check your comments. So like each comment as well, click the little heart on them. Comment with value, like ask questions or give compliments. Don't just put all emojis, but engage with your people, ask questions about them, or even acknowledge things that are on their page so they know that you're actually watching and following them too. 4 words or more plus an emoji is so key. It gives you some little extra points on the boosting. But pace yourself or you'll get thrown in the like, you're commenting too fast, take a break type of warning thing. And we don't want to go there because, you know, TikTok jail is a thing, just like Facebook jail is a thing. And commenting like thousands of messages in a row, they pick up on that. So messages, use the pin to top feature. Oh my goodness. So you can literally pin people to the top. It's as a reminder to follow up with them or that they're interested or engaged with you. Come up with your system that works of people that you would like to pin to the top for whatever reminders you feel that you need. And I like getting people into direct text messages as soon as possible. I'll ask people in Messenger if we're chatting back and forth, like, hey, is it cool if we text? It's a lot faster for me to engage that way. You'll get me faster or something, like I see these messages more or something along those lines. Most of the time people are cool with that. Like 95% of the time they're like, sure. And it makes it just easier for communication. So I like to do 10 to 20 messages max at a time. Like I said, to just spread it out. And so TikTok doesn't say this girl is just blowing up TikTok and just messaging people. So respond to people with intention, combine messages if you have several questions being asked to. That's like a great way. So you're not just sending a bunch of messages back to back to back to back. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now because that is a wrap. That is the entire overview of how to grow on TikTok, how to attain some profitable results, most importantly with your Prove It business. So what we learned today about consistency, being authentic, calls to action, being batch creating your content, ideas for how to find you, being granular with yourself, getting to know people and building relationships, how to aesthetically create your posts, and all of the strategies that we touched on is truly going to take your Prove It business from where it is right now, this very second, to where you want it to be in the future. This right here is the key. It is the roadmap. It is all of the secrets in one. You do not need to overthink TikTok at all. Be fun, be you, have fun. And Cam, is there anything that you want to say before we close this out?
No, I think you nailed it, Sam. You know, don't mess up good for perfect. We can all go back and look at our first video and see how much we've grown. So just start. Chances are the majority of the people that come across your content, they don't know you. And that's one of the most awesome things about TikTok is you don't have to go on thinking, oh, this is a couple thousand people of all people that I know personally. These people don't know you. So be you, be authentic, be free, enjoy it, have fun. It's a fun platform and it can literally grow your business by leaps and bounds. So commit to it. Don't let it scare you. Get out there, take the bull by the horns and go after it. You got this. We believe in you.
Yes, you guys are awesome. Good luck on your TikTok journey. I can't wait to see you on our FYP page.